Thanks for tuning in. This is DoctorSTARDIS with another video review. And in today's episode, we're going to be taking a look at the new Marvel Legends X-Men Mystique. Package, much like a lot of these Marvel Legend figures, you have that really nice open clamshell that fully showcases the figure, her accessories, a yellow background. So you got X-Men right there. The side of the package has an absolute gorgeous image of Mystique there, as well as there. And then, oh look, X-Men. Then come around to the back of the package, and you got another little image of her, and it says, an expert of duplication and duplicity. Mystique uses powers of shape-shifting to assume others' identities in complete covert missions. Now, here in North America, I do believe she is exclusively available only at Walgreens. So if you're looking for her, that's where you're going to have to start. But for the packaging on this girl, that's about it. So without further ado, let's get her out here and see how cool she actually is. Alright guys, so here we have Mystique opened up and out of her packaging. And I know I'm not Shartimus Prime, and I know I don't do a lot of Marvel Legend reviews, but I am a huge fan of the X-Men. Back in the 90s, I read a ton of their comics, and I absolutely, even to this day, love the X-Men animated series, as I'm sure a lot of you also do. But a lot of the looks that I love for these characters come from that comic look as well as that animated series. And there's a lot of really great X-Men figures coming out from Marvel Legends that look like that. We've got a few in the past, and I've done some videos of those. So if you're enjoying these, keep your eyes peeled because it's going to be a very exciting time for Marvel Legends and X-Men fans in the next year or so. Mystique here absolutely looks terrific. She's a villain that I did really like back in the day. I am not a huge fan of how they're incorporating her with the new movies and kind of making her a good guy that goes bad because it's stupid. Just leave her as a bad guy. But, you know, Jennifer Lawrence, meh, you can't have her be a bad guy. This look, though, is absolutely terrific. You can see that it's a little bit tricky to get her to hold the gun. Her hand can do it. It is a little bit softer and pliable, so this large gun here, you can get her holding. It just takes a little bit of work. I'm going to set her off to the side. Taking a look first at her accessory, she does come with a pretty good amount. The gun here is just molded in this goldish sort of color. You can see nice sculpted detail on there. The little section here does remove, and then you can see you got like a bullet right there, so you can put that in, you can detach it. That's kind of cool. I like that. Very large gun. Definitely looks like something that like Rocket Raccoon would use. She also does come with a smaller handgun, which I don't know if I like it in this color. I would probably like it if it was a black gun. You can see that the barrel here is a very, very thin plastic. Hopefully you can see that. And it is very flexible, so be very careful when you're using this. But as a handgun, you can get her holding this a lot easier. And I feel like something like that works for her as like a spy a little bit better than this. Not that this is a bad gun or anything, that just looks a little bit more natural for her. Now, she also does come with a couple extra head sculpts, which I think is terrific. One, because she changes her shape, so it's cool that they give you a couple different options for displaying her. The first one here is Lilandra. This is the queen of the Shi'ar Empire, or Charles Xavier's love, but great detail on there. Like the paint detail on the eyes is fantastic. Really nice lipstick here painted on. Gorgeous sculpt with the head. You can use it with this. I don't know what other figure. I do believe I've seen Shartimus's video, and there's another figure that kind of looks like Lilandra that you could put this on if you wanted and create a completely separate figure for her. That's up to you. You also do get a Rogue head, which really does look great. And I'm going to bring in the original Rogue. It is just a repaint, but you can see that you got a much redder hair color here, which matches with what's going on there. And you can see that it fades, which is great. You come around to the side, you can see half the face is done in a blue color. The other half is done in a normal flesh tone. So you can imagine her kind of transitioning. Even same with the hair. You can see you got a lot more white in the original ones that this one doesn't have. So like I said, it's like her face is transitioning, which is amazing. I'm really quite happy with how that looked. And you can swap this out, just take this head. It's on a ball joint, so if you wanted to use this body and pretend it was Mystique, you can pop that back on there. Again, it is just a ball joint, so you can get that on there, and you can use this figure as if she's a lot more transformed. Or likewise, you can pop this head off. You can come around to this girl. You can pop that head off. And again, it is just a ball joint that you can put on there like so. And it does stick up a little bit high. I'm not a big fan of that, but you can see you can create a look. Oh, well, that's not even the right head. So maybe that sits down a little bit lower. There is a like extra joint on there, which makes it a little bit tricky to pop that head on there. So do be careful when you're doing that, but it doesn't feel like it gets all the way down. It did it the first time I did. There we go. Put that all the way down there. Well, that sits a little bit lower, but you can create that look if you really wanted and have, you know, the blue face and a normal face. So personal preference, whatever you want to do, and you can take the Laundra's head. You can put her on there as well. So, I mean, that's cool. I love the fact that you have the options for this. Now, you can't really take this head and put that on there. I mean, I guess you kind of could. It's just going to sit there, but her hair kind of bumps into that, so you can't really do that as well as I would like. But really cool that you have the different display options with these extra heads. And like I said, I know I saw in Shardimus's video that he took this head and put it on another body to create another character, which I think is terrific. Now, for her articulation, fairly standard for a Marvel Legend figure. You got the head, as you can see, that's on a nice ball joint, and then you also do have a hinge, which can get her looking really far down. I don't know why you would really want to do that, but you can. The shoulders here are on pin hinge joints so that you can hinge those out. You can rotate them around very nicely. She does have that same type of pin hinge system for the elbow, so you can rotate that around, hinges forward and back. Wrist also does the same thing, rotation, hinge forward and back. She does have a ball joint here at her upper diaphragm, so you get a lot of range of motion there. Come down to the hips. This bottom section here is all a separate piece. You can see a really nice gold detail. The hips here, though, can move forward and back, in and out. The way that the material here is, it's a softer material, and like I said, it kind of moves around and gets out of the way, so you can really position those legs however you want. You got a cut here at the upper part of the thigh, so you can rotate that around. You got two joints here at the knee, come down to the ankles. They do move forward and back, and then they have that weird crazy joint there, so lots of articulation in her. Tremendous amount of detail on the figure as well. I want to come in here and let's just get in as close as we can. That's a absolute terrific head sculpt. I love what they did with the hair. Like you can see with the Rogue figure, it fades, and you can see you got a much brighter red up here, and then it comes down to the lower section and gets darker. That looks really nice. Absolutely gorgeous paint detail for the eyes, the eyebrows, the lipstick, all of it looks terrific. Even the little skull on the top of the head looks amazing. The rest of the body is fairly simple. I mean, she's just a blue and white character for the most part, and I think they nailed the likeness very, very nicely. Like I said, you do have that little skirt piece that is a softer material, so that can kind of move around. I don't know why she's got a hole in her back. I would imagine that that's for like a reuse. I mean, I know that Marvel Legend figures get reused a lot. It doesn't bother me really all that much, but I'm sure that that's something for some other female figure or character or something like that. But terrific detail through the entire thing. Without a doubt, if you're an X-Men fan, this is one that you want to have in your collection. Mystique is kind of an iconic character in the world of X-Men. She's always at the center of something. You know, she's getting a lot more notoriety now because of the X-Men movies. But like I said, this is my preferred look for, and even character representation. I don't like that they're making her, like I said, a good guy that's just misunderstood. Again, I just feel like that's BS that Jennifer Lawrence is kind of forcing into things. But regardless, a great looking figure. As I said, here in North America, she is exclusive to Walgreens stores. The hunt is a little bit difficult because you do have scalpers that constantly do go and find her and then try charging like $40 for her. She's like a $14 figure. I got her for like $13 because I had like an extra Walgreens buck or something. So in general, I do recommend her. She's a nice addition to my Marvel Legends X-Men display because that's really all I... Drunk Mystique. That's all I really have for X-Men figures because Hot Toys doesn't make them, and the real good representations are usually a lot more money, and I'd rather spend a lot less and get still a pretty good figure. I just do have an attachment to that 90s look, and she definitely has it. So all that being said, if you're looking for good luck and happy hunting. But beyond that, guys, that's about it. Remember, if you like this video, I would really appreciate your support, guys, simply by hitting that thumbs up button. That one small little gesture really does go a long way towards helping me out, and I would really appreciate it. Also, I want to send a huge thank you if you made it all the way to the end of this review. Another way that you can really help support my channel is making sure that you watch a video all the way through. And if you did that, thank you. Also, I want to send a huge shout out to all of my patrons who, through their continued support, now more than ever help to make reviews like this possible. And finally, remember, grow wise, grow strong, but never grow up. Thank you for watching and taking the time to be a kid.